you don't allow yourself to be seen, that's why nobody else is gonna see you. Do you want to be seen? You want to do something that requires you to be seen, but as soon as the spotlight's on you, you freeze up, you're getting paralyzed, and you have this anxiety around it. You're definitely not alone. I've been there many times. In today's video, I'll be sharing some strategies, insights, and some tips. The fear of being seen is quite common. I think a lot of people experience that spotlight effect. Once they're in the spotlight, they feel like they have to be perfect with everything they do and everything they say, and there is no room for messing up. I think that is what builds this immense pressure. In the beginning, we have to get clear what is the root cause of our fear of being seen. Is it because we got criticized in the past? Did we try something new that required us to take a step out of our comfort zone and people judged us for it? Where does it come from? If you're not 100% sure, I would encourage you to do just like a conscious stream of thought where you just let yourself write whatever comes to your mind. Ask the question, where is my fear of being seen coming from? Don't think about it. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. It doesn't have to make any sense. Just write it out and see what comes out. It's really interesting to see what might be holding you back and what you've been holding on even though you weren't really aware of it anymore. Another important step is to acknowledge the fear. The fear is always going to be there. Even if you overcome this big hurdle now, there will be new things that you might be scared of that give you anxiety. And I'm not saying this to scare you, but it's just a fact. You know, if you set goals, there will always be more goals and it will be out of your comfort zone. And I think a lot of the times it's things that bring you growth, things where you reach your new highest potential. These are things that are gonna be scary because they feel unfamiliar. If you're familiar with Tim Ferriss, you might have heard about his fear setting exercise. It's pretty much about questioning your fears. He says to put your fear under a microscope and get really curious about it. List out all the things that hold you back from taking action to be seen. Whether you want to start a YouTube channel, or you have to have a presentation, or you're publishing something and it requires you to step into the spotlight. You want to make an Instagram and you have never shown your face before, something like that is all very valid, but really get curious about all the thoughts you have that are holding you back to step forward and take the action. For a lot of us, we tend to overthink, so this would be like the worst case scenario. What would happen if I would take action and be seen? What is the worst possible outcome? On the next step, you're writing down what would you do if that worst possible outcome became your reality? What if it became true? And the next step, you're gonna write down all the benefits and the positive things that might come with taking action. And the last step of the exercise is, what would be the consequences if you would not take any action towards your goal? What would the consequences be in 6 months, in a year, in 5 years, if you don't take any action and you stay exactly where you are? I love this exercise so much because it really opens your eyes that sometimes, or most of the times, our worst case scenarios are out of this world. Like, it's so ridiculous sometimes what we make up in our minds. And even if the worst case scenario happened and we would embarrass ourselves, people would laugh at us, we would still be alive at the end. It was a bad experience, maybe we failed, but we did take action. What is a consequence of the inaction? That really is terrifying sometimes, because if you have a dream, if you have a goal of like being seen and wanting to put your work out in the world and you've never even given it a try, I think that's worse than failing. You're watching me now on YouTube and wanting to do a YouTube channel for the longest time, and I was really afraid what other people would think of me. I was thinking they would judge me or criticize me, like, who am I to make videos about this? Like, am I even qualified to do that? Does it even matter? Will people make fun of me because my English is not good enough, because I'm not a native English speaker? Stuff like that. I think for me, the biggest one was like, what will other people think of me? And we all know that we have no impact whether people are thinking about us or not. But eventually I was like, you know, if I don't take any action, I will never know what's going to happen. And my channel is still small, but I'm so grateful for all the people that are here. I could have never imagined to even go to 500 subscribers. I don't know, like I know in the YouTube sphere that doesn't mean anything, but it means a lot to me. Everybody has value, everybody has something to share and the right to share it. So if you're in a similar boat, whether you wanted to do YouTube or something else, just go for it and see what happens. You might be cringy, or there's a good chance you're cringy. Make sure to watch until the end because I added some bloopers from my very first YouTube video, and I think it's kind of hilarious. Now I can laugh about it, but I remember the first time trying to do this YouTube thing and it just feels so awkward. But that's just part of the process. And I'm also saying this because I am probably in a year my videos will get better, hopefully. And I will look back at these videos and be like, oh my god, they suck. Which brings me to the next point. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to make a lot of mistakes. And just being okay with not being perfect, because that's just unrealistic and we're putting so much pressure on ourselves that is just so unnecessary. The first few times when you try something new, it's not gonna be good. Like my first videos are not good. I published them anyway because I knew this is how you're gonna grow. A note on criticism, because if you're anything like me and that is one of your biggest fear, to be judged by other people. First of all, just taking criticism from people that are in the same space as I am, or people that are actively pushing themselves out of their comfort zone. So I'm not taking advice, criticism, or any kind of negative feedback from people that sit on the couch and do nothing all day and just judge other people just for the sake of judging them. I'm trying and seeking out feedback from people in the same sphere, or people that have guts to try something new, because it's so easy to point the finger at something that you've never done and be like, oh, that's really bad, or that was embarrassing. People in the same spaces as you, or people that have done something out of their comfort zone, wouldn't just criticize for the sake of judgment and being mean. I think they have valuable feedback to give, and that's the people that you want to take criticism from. See your light. A conversation I had with a mentor of mine when I was still very active in the dance scene, telling him that I wanted to be seen. I was over the point where I was just afraid, like not taking any action. I was taking action, but I was like, nobody's seeing me though. Like, why people don't see me? I want to be seen. I want to be acknowledged by other people, and I feel like I'm not. And then he said, but do you even see yourself? And I was looking at him, I was like, wow, I guess I'm not. Because if it came to classes, I was still hiding in the back. I was nervous, I was looking on the floor, I was not confident, or I was not actively trying to be seen. I was hiding, literally, in the back of the class, because I was afraid I would mess up or I didn't have it perfectly. And he said, you don't allow yourself to be seen. That's why nobody else is gonna see you too. Allow yourself to be seen and don't dim your own light. So now that we covered the basis, what do we actually do to take action? Gradual exposure. Try with small little steps. Another exercise I love for this is writing your end goal at the bottom of a page and then breaking your goal into 10 steps. And write the thing that scares you the most at the bottom of the page. So this would be a 10 out of 10. This gives me so much anxiety. Now you're gonna start from the beginning. You're gonna write down the first thing that you know you can do even today. That would not any type of anxiety, or maybe just minimal things that you can take today. Maybe do some research on whatever topic you want to do a presentation or a post or whatever about. So that would be the first step. And then you're gonna work your way down to that big 10 out of 10 anxiety, and the fear is gonna get more intense going downwards. So you have 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, and so on. But you're gonna work through this worksheet from the top to the bottom. So you're not gonna start with the thing that makes you anxious the most. You're gonna start with the thing that doesn't give you so much anxiety. And then you're gonna go to the next thing that might be a little bit more anxiety inducing, but it's not as bad because you did the first step. And that's how you go from step to step. And that might take 2 weeks, it might take 2 months, it might take 2 years, whatever. Don't set your time limit for yourself. Don't put yourself under pressure. Just go with the flow, take action. Progress over perfection, and just do small little steps. In Tim Ferriss's exercise, he talks about the worst case scenario. How would you react if the worst case would happen? I would like to flip the script and invite you to write down the best case scenario. What is the thing, what is the biggest, grandest vision that you can imagine for yourself when you take action in the most positive way? How would that feel? I think that's so amazing because you get really so excited. You're like, oh my God, if that became true, that would be so amazing. And it doesn't need to be like a big reward or medal achievement at the end. Maybe it's just the best case scenario is that you just feel so proud of yourself. You just feel so confident. You were so relieved or excited that you took the steps to get there. I mentioned this shortly in another point, but patience, patience, patience. We often think we need to go super fast. We need to be achieving our goals tomorrow or even better tonight. And just again, progress over perfection. Take small steps. Small steps over a long period of time is what is going to give you results. It's just inevitable. You will see results if you keep taking action, if you even take small steps, even if it doesn't feel like a lot in the beginning. Small steps accumulate to big wins over time. Celebrate your wins and really acknowledge yourself for the wins. We often downplay our small wins so much because we're waiting for a bigger thing. We're waiting for something to be really proud of. But I'm telling you right now, I'm proud of you for just showing up, for taking action. That is something to be very, very proud of. And in the case something doesn't go as planned, please show yourself compassion. Please be kind to yourself. You can turn your negative self-talk into positive self-talk. If you tend to say things like, I haven't achieved my goal, I can't do this, add the word yet and see how it transforms into a more positive statement. I haven't achieved my goal yet. I don't know this yet. Remember that everyone's journey is unique. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you're here for the bloopers, enjoy. And if you're a brave soul, which I think you are, let me know what is some goals of yours that require you to be seen. Share them in the comments. We can make this a supportive space where people encourage each other, and just say what you want to do. That could be your first step towards your new big goal of being seen.
My name is Miri. Where was I going with this? Sorry. I am successful. They will not grow. They will still gain